G'day, Steve Morgan here. Australian Bass Tournaments, and it is just prior to the third round, the Samaki round of the Zerek BARRA Tour 2019. I've got the winners from the second round, which was the Edge Rods sponsored round. It's Team Barometrics Castaic, John Campbell, Brody Eves. You guys have had a cracking start to the BARRA Tour. You're currently leading the BARRA Tour Team of the Year by, you've only lost 1 point on the way through with a second and a first place. And you won that event at Teemburra, and you must be getting a reputation for catching big fish, because Brody, your $1.16 anchored that limit and took you to the win. Did you think you had enough coming into the weigh-in or coming into the end of the session? Did you think that big fish was enough to get you across the line?
Yeah, I thought it was. We got a 60 early in the day, and so that was good to not get a donut. And then the 116 was, it was a good boost to lot of points. So yeah.
And that's the way it works in the BARRA Tour. It's a length weight curve, so that was over 20 kilos, that big fish, and a 60 is worth about 2 kilos, so it's worth 10 times one of those small fish. In fact, again, one big fish beats a whole limit of smaller fish. And John, your name has been JC Big Fish nickname, but now we've got BBF.
Big Fish Brody.
Big Fish Brody. Talk us through the event. Like, coming up to that event, everyone was talking that the lake was fishing tough. You knew you probably only needed a few good bites to get it across, and what was your tactic going into the session?
Well, we did a couple of days pre-fishing up there, and there was fish moving, but a lot of spots where we couldn't find things. So we just sort of focused on where we marked one or two, and hit that, move, hit, and then work back through. If we marked a couple while we're moving, turn around, hit them, stayed on the move, and just hit through everything at them, really. Now,
Brody, that big fish of yours, from the photo, it looks like it came after dark. Everyone says it was a bit of an epic capture. Can you take us through the cast, retrieve, and then what happened when you hooked that big unit?
Well, it was fairly late in the night, so it was a bit tired, and I was sitting on the back of JC's motor, just threw it out, just slowly winding in, and they just smashed it. Yeah.
What was the lure that it ate? Is this it here?
Yep.
So take us through what it is. Is it like a hollow belly?
Yeah, just a 6-inch hollow belly on a jig head.
And it's on a 5/8 ounce jig head with one of those mustard fast hatch clips. What lead is it attached to?
Just 60-pound Black Magic.
And take us through the outfit you were throwing it on. That looks like, is it a Samaki? That's the naming sponsor for tonight.
Yes, just a 7-foot Samaki spin reel and a 4,000 Stella.
And what sort of braid you got on there?
30 pound.
Now, once you hooked the fish up, what happened?
Once I hooked the fish, it took off. I jumped once, and I thought I turned it, but then it just took off once more and just wrapped me around like 3 or 4 trees, and then we had to go chase it.
So if you're watching here, what's the tactic when BARRA goes through all the timber? What do? Do you free spool? Do you pull harder? What do you do?
Oh, you free spool a little bit, but you just keep a bit of tension on it so the hook doesn't come out, and just then go and chase it.
And not only trees, it ended up in the weed as well?
Yeah, it ended up in the weed. We had to tangle a bit of weed off it, and so it was a bit exciting for the late in the night.
I think that was very understated, that capture. Was there some high fives going on when it hit the deck?
Well, we were trying to keep it a little bit quiet, just so there was boats in the vicinity, and we didn't really want to give it away too much. Yep. But there was a few little quiet fist pumps going on. So
awesome. Now that event was sponsored by Edge Rods. You're sponsored by Edge Rods, and as always happens in ABT, sponsored anglers associated with a sponsor end up doing well. What was the outfit that you were using?
I was just using the little inshore Black Widow 606, and I got my little 60 centimetre one, little deformed one it was. It looked more like a sooty. Just got him casting a squirrel, 30-pound braid, Toro braid on the Corrado 200.
So pretty standard. It's a short rod. It's like a jerk baiting style rod. You use that a lot in the salt stuff that you do.
Yeah, I use this sort of this length rod in the salt a lot, and working your hard bodies and twitching, and it's perfect for that in tight country. You haven't got that sort of long rod to worry about, and just using what I'm comfortable with and what I use more often in the salt. So,
Now, you guys are our leading team of the year, and every stage at this, there's someone's leading team of the year that feels a bit nervous going into the third event. How's your pre-fish been for Faust? We're at Faust now. The weather looks like it's pretty stable. The lake's up a bit. All the BARRA that came in last night looked fat as houses. This lake looks like it could go off on this moon.
Yeah, I think it's building pretty nicely. I think there's some good reports came in last night, and everyone's keeping a little bit coy with what actually happened. But there was a lot of there was a good vibe around the camp last night, so you can tell that everyone's sort of up a bit.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And like at all ABT events, don't believe anything that anyone says the day before a tournament. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. 100%.
They're all lying through their teeth.
Yep.
Well, there you go. We are that's the wrap up for the winners of the second event and the leaders of the team of the year. Tonight we have the third event of the 4-event BARRA series. It's the Samaki round. It's an all-night event. It starts at 4 o'clock this afternoon. It finishes 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. Unfortunately, there's no coverage up on the lake, so you're going to have to hang with us until the next day to get the coverage. But until next time, it's Steve Morgan and the champions checking out from Camp Kanga up on Faust.